Hey, how y'all doing out there, YouTube land? I thought maybe I got up this morning and I saw, good God, my mailbox was full of all kinds of comments about my last rant. And, well, I agree. I think they should cut everything except for Social Security and Medicare. Sorry, it's just the way it is. No, we don't have a choice. We have to pay into it, and we automatically get it when we turn 65 or whatever it is. Anyway, that's just my attitude on that. But I wanted to address something else while I had the video camera on about the draft. And some of you out there have questioned the idea about the draft, but I want you to think about this for a minute. The United States government is in a financial crisis right now. We have no jobs in this country, and we need to put America back to work. And all those jobs that went overseas, they need to be held accountable for leaving the great United States of America. And I believe that accountability ought to be from tariffs. I believe that we ought to put tariffs on goods that come from American companies that go overseas. If it makes the price of things go up, so be it. Maybe they'll come back to America. We have to make, in this new world order, in this new world economy, us as Americans, we have to become competitive with the rest of the world. And there was a time that we didn't have to do that. Alright, enough of that. Well, no, I'll add one more thing. If we add tariffs and we start tariffing imports, it's going to make the rest of the world pissed off at us. And we need to make the rest of the world realize and think twice before they go messing with us. That's why I say bring back the draft. Now, here's my idea on the draft. A lot of people, oh, no draft, oh my God. But I think we need the draft, and this is why. One, kids drop out of school. I'm sorry, if you drop out of high school, you go into the military. No questions asked, no reasons why. You go into the military if you drop out of high school. If you quit school, you go in the military. And by going into the military, you have no other choice but infantry, Army. You can only go in the Army. You can only be a part of the infantry. And during your 2 or 3 year tenure, I'll let people decide on that. You have to obtain a high school diploma. You have to obtain a high school diploma to even get out of the military. I think that's going to help with the dropout rate in America. Mind you, we are on an economic level with the rest of the world. We are not just competing in America anymore. We're competing with the rest of the world. So we have to have educated people in this country. There's no time and no room for dropouts. If you quit school, you go in the military. You work on your GED, and then after you get your GED and you do your term limit in the military, you can go out and do something else. But there's more to this. You get your GED in the military, then the military also can open up a wide range of training for you. And the other services, Navy, Air Force, Marines. I think that right there would help matters out. And it would get kids off the street, and it would help with young people in employment. Here's another thing. You graduate high school, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, and the Army, plus with the higher education training that they offer, is open to you. But you have to do 2 years in at least one. The United States needs to remain strong in the eyes of the rest of the world militarily. I'm sorry, it just needs to happen. And the military has a shortage of people. And it's just something that has to happen. When guys get at the end of their time of service, ETS, and it's time for them to go on and get out of the military, they can't do it because we're in the middle of this quote unquote war. Well, I think that the draft would solve that problem. And guys could get out when it's time to ETS. They can ETS, or they can re-up. It doesn't matter, whatever they want to do. Excuse me. The other thing about this is when you graduate high school, you do 2 years in a branch of the service. That will enable these people that get out of high school to get some discipline in their life. That also will allow them to be at work. They will have jobs. They will be employed by the armed forces of America. Thus, we wouldn't have these kids out on the street like we do today. It might even curb some of the gang issues. Mind you, you go into the military, you are in the world's most powerful gang in the world, the United States military. And I just think that it would be a good thing for kids to do. So I think the draft should be also if you graduate high school. Now, there's some loopholes here, and I've made these loopholes. If you go to college and you earn your degree, you can go to officers candidate school, but you still have to go in the military. 2 years as a second lieutenant. You go in as an officer, you train to be an officer, you do your 2 years, and then you go out. That would solve a lot of problems in the unemployment in the United States of America. I really believe that would open up employment in America better than it is today. If we do that, it also takes, like I said, it takes people off the street. It gives people a job. I think it's a good thing. Plus, it sends a message to the rest of the world. Don't mess with us. Here's another take on it, too. I'm a firm believer that Europe needs to start taking care of itself. The big bad Soviet Union is no longer the big bad Soviet Union. And they have all those countries over there. And we need to go ahead and let Europe take care of Europe and their own affairs. And I would almost go to say that maybe America should get out of NATO. And maybe America should start its own. Now, Canada and Mexico, the Mexican problem should be addressed like this. We annex Mexico. Bottom line, Mexico becomes part of the United States of America. That way, they can't be running across the border with their guns, come over here killing people, and then running back over there, and we can't do nothing about it. I say it's time we do something about it, and we annex Mexico. Same thing with Canada. Canada enjoys their socialistic lifestyle to the point to where they snub Americans, and I've been to Canada. I know how they are up there. I've worked in Canada, and they snub us. They think that they're better than we are. But the only reason that they enjoy their socialistic freedoms and their socialistic lifestyle and their socialized medicine is because they don't have to pay for the military. They have no military in Canada at all. So here's what I think that the United States ought to do. Annex Canada. Bottom line, Canada, you become part of the United States. You fall underneath the rules, the laws, and the treaties of the United States of America. Bottom line. And if we enact the draft, and we've got this big, powerful military, what are they going to do about it? That's just my take on things. Okay, so there you go. That's what I think. That's why I think that we need to go ahead and allow the draft to come back. I mean, with America's unemployment problem like it is, that would definitely put some kids to work. With that, this is Dog, Best 7-3. Hope to talk to you again.